This is RazorwireReviews, and welcome to my Monday movie reviews. Yeah, welcome back to Monday movie reviews, and there's been a week gap. I was going to do one last week, but last Monday I was travelling back here to the UK, because I'm coming back here for a bit. So this is going to be 2 weeks worth of movie reviews. I'm going to try and move as quickly as possible on this. So the 23rd of April, we watched Premium Rush, which kind of got lost in the shuffle as far as Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies go in 2012. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but 2012 was a huge year for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I mean, he had The Dark Knight Rises, where he was pretty much one of the lead characters, and then a few months after that, there was Looper, where he was the lead character, starring alongside Bruce Willis in an amazing sci-fi film. So he had a great year, and Premium Rush kind of just got a bit lost in the shuffle, really. So we decided to watch that, and it's about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. I forget his name now, and he's a bike messenger in New York City, and he goes all around delivering stuff, and he gets given this package, and suddenly there's a guy who wants the package really badly, but his rule is, you know, I can't hand anything over because it's a binding contract. So he goes off, and this guy's chasing him, and then it takes place over about an hour or so, so it's almost in real time, almost. And throughout the film, whenever he's going to different places, we see like almost like a Google Earth, Google Maps Street View kind of 3D model of New York City, and we see like all the lines going where the route is and stuff. Some really cool stuff on screen as well, reminding me of like Scott Pilgrim in terms of different things flashing up on the screen and stuff. It was really enjoyable, fun movie. Didn't really slow down. There's a whole subplot that wasn't too original, but it was enjoyable, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt was pretty good as well. It was just an enjoyable film, nothing too much to it. I enjoyed it a lot. The cool thing was the beginning and the end used an epic song by The Who. But I'll leave you to watch that and see what song that is. And also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt got injured while he was making the film. He got hit by a car or something, and his arm was all busted open. And in the credits, they showed that clip, which I thought was pretty funny. So yeah, Premium Rush, pretty good. And then moving on, Rush Hour, which we watched on the 27th of April, by the recommendation of Chris CM42. I'd seen it years ago when I was a kid, and had enjoyed it then, so it was kind of weird watching it now because I'd forgotten most of it. The only thing I really remembered was the beginning, where the guy's like, "What's the problem? There is no problem, just rush hour." So you got Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, and I don't know, how would you describe it? It's a buddy comedy, I guess, but you know, just two completely different people. Jackie Chan is amazing as always. I mean, I'm just absolutely marvel at the things that he can do with his body in terms of choreography and fight scenes, and he is just a genius of physical comedy. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to compare, but for me, Jackie Chan is just the greatest martial artist to ever be in films, really, because some of the stuff he's done is amazing. Like, there's this one film, I forget which one it was, where he took like a big bump onto like burning coals, like for real, you know. He has sacrificed his body like a lot for movies, and but yeah, Rush Hour was really awesome, really fun, and yeah, enjoy it a lot. It's just again, fun film. The day after that, we watched The Grey, starring Liam Neeson. I absolutely loved it. It was really bleak. It was really depressing, but there was kind of like this primal kind of feel to it, where you just kind of rooting for them anyway, and you want to keep watching, and even though it just looks so like it looks like such a lost hope, like a lost cause, you know, like there's no hope for these guys. Basically, this group of people who, I believe, they go out to like an oil rig or something somewhere in the middle of Antarctica, or no, not Antarctica, no, that's too far. What am I thinking of? Alaska. So still really, like, you know, bad, but not like Antarctica. And the plane crashes, and it is a horrific plane crash. I've never seen anything like it. It was really realistic, and just the wreckage that's left is horrifying. Liam Neeson's character kind of takes control of the situation, and the people who survive, they go off into the woods. Only problem is there's wolves who are kind of like hunting them down, basically, and that's what the whole film is about, and them surviving. And yeah, it was really enjoyable. Not like you're sitting there and having a great time watching it, but like it was shot really well. A very gritty feel to it. I just enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. And the ending was brilliant. I loved the ending. Just top quality ending. Really liked it. Next we watched The Silver Linings Playbook, which when I first heard about that film, and I was like, oh, seems like a foregone conclusion. You just stick Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence together, make a romantic comedy, easy money. I didn't think it was anything more to it than just a standard romantic comedy. How wrong I was when I started hearing they were getting nominated for Oscars and stuff. I was like, hang on a minute, this must be something a bit more than just your standard rom-com. And it was. I won't go into the plot synopsis. Everyone's talking about it right now because the Blu-ray just came out. But me and Connie, we both loved it. There's some great performances from Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, and in particular for me, Robert De Niro. He stood out the most in the film. I don't know. It just felt so real, and I don't know. Just something about Robert De Niro's performance in the film really tied it all together. Bradley Cooper, great. Jennifer Lawrence, great. But Robert De Niro just seemed to tie it all together for me, and just made it a brilliant film. And of course, kudos to the other two. And yeah, a really great film, and it kind of makes you think about things. It's kind of rehashing the very worn out kind of message of don't judge a book by its cover, but it was done in a way that was different for me, and in a way that I wasn't kind of rolling my eyes and thinking, well, we've seen this before. It was just very enjoyable. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, wouldn't call it like an amazing 10 out of 10 film, but definitely a really, really good one that surprised me a lot. And there's definitely more than just a standard rom-com. I think there's something else I wanted to say about that film. I'm going to do like a full review of it at some point, whenever I get the Blu-ray in the distant future. But for now, yeah, really good. Then I came over here, and then a couple of days after, on the 1st of May, we watched together. We kind of watch films like at the same time. We do like a 3, 2, 1 countdown when we're apart. A film called Uncertainty from 2009, stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and I forget her name now, Lynn Collins maybe. She's been in quite a few things. She was the princess in John Carter. And they're this couple in New York, and they're on the Brooklyn Bridge, and they're deciding where to go, how to spend their weekend, or their day, I think. And basically the film is 2 alternate realities, and it's what would happen if they went to her family to see them, and what would happen if they just went out for the day. And those 2 timelines are running concurrently throughout the film, and we're cutting back and forth between the mundane and the just kind of escalating story of what happens when they just decide to go out for the day. And I won't say any more than that. For me, interesting experiment for a film. Bits worked, bits didn't. I felt it was definitely too long. It got to a point where it was like, it's just a bit boring now, and it's just dragging out. Maybe I think this film would have been served a lot better at maybe 80 minutes, something like that. I believe it was an hour and 40 minutes. It just got to a point where one of the storylines just wasn't as interesting as the other one, and it was like, what would happen if they went this way or that way? Well, I don't really care what happened if they went that way because it's boring, But they kind of showed like similarities and stuff, but kind of, I guess it just illustrates how just the simplest of decisions can have such a big kind of make such a big difference, I guess. And then the ending was kind of like, even Connie was like, really, that was it? I definitely say if you're like really bored and you've got nothing else to do, check it out. If you're a big fan of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, check it out. But it was I felt like they could have harnessed that idea a bit better, and execute it a bit better. The day after that, we watched Speed together. This was a blast from the past for me. I used to watch Speed all the time. I had it on VHS, probably still do somewhere knocking around. Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, Dennis Hopper, Jeff Daniels. It still holds up today. I can't believe it's almost 20 years old. Just the tension and everything, and if you don't know what the story is, long story short, Keanu Reeves is a cop, Dennis Hopper is this madman, and he's planted a bomb on a bus in LA, and Keanu Reeves has got to get on that bus, because if the bus slows down below 50 miles an hour, it blows up, and it's this kind of a negotiation kind of throughout the whole film, but it's like constantly moving, constantly exciting, there's loads of tension. And yeah, one thing that didn't hold up very well was Keanu Reeves' acting. I have to say, it was a bit like, Sandra Bullock, kind of, she made the whole thing work. Her acting was great in the film. Dennis Hopper, chewing up the scenery, awesome. And Jeff Daniels, really good as well. I love Jeff Daniels. So yeah, Speed was just, it's just a really fun 90s film. I love 90s films. This is something about them, I don't know. It was just really great reliving, well, not reliving, but kind of rewatching that film and taking myself back to, you know, simpler times, and when I used to just watch films like that all the time. I mean, I knew almost all the lines, like, without even thinking about it for like 10, I probably haven't seen it in like 10 years or so, and it just all came back to me. Next was I went to the cinema, and I saw The Place Beyond the Pines. It was a choice between that or Iron Man 3, and I think I made the right choice. I'm sure Iron Man 3 is great, but it'll wait for now. The Place Beyond the Pines stars Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, and Eva Mendes, and it's a crime drama, and Ryan Gosling plays this guy who's like a motorbike stuntman, and already you're starting to think, oh, this sounds a bit like Drive. It's nothing like Drive. Well, I guess you could kind of draw a few similarities, but it's nothing like Drive. But Ryan Gosling kind of plays the same kind of character, a little, I guess. But he's a motorbike stuntman, and he goes around with a circus, you know, just doing his thing. And he's at this one place in New York. It's like this pine tree laden, kind of sleepy country town, I guess you could call it. And he sees this girl played by Eva Mendes, and it's apparent that they saw each other the year before when he was there with the circus, or the fair, whatever you want to call it. And I don't have much to talk about really, because I really think you should just watch this film. If you haven't seen it, and you haven't even seen the trailer, I would just recommend just taking a shot and going to see it. I saw the trailer and I thought, this looks great. I'm stepping away from this, don't want to see any more trailers, don't know nothing about it, because I think it's going to be great, and I was right. It's just like, it's almost like an anthology film. It follows kind of the repercussions of certain events and how choices affect the generations that go ahead of you and things. And it's just a great drama, and just some brilliant acting, really, by Ryan Gosling in particular. Well, not in particular, I mean, I'd say that Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, Eva Mendes were all brilliant, and then there's another actor who was really great too. I won't say who he is, because again, I don't want to give away too much, but he is fast become one of my favourite new actors. He's had a great year and a half. He's been in some really good stuff, and he was great in this too. Overall, I absolutely loved The Place Beyond the Pines. There's a few things about it that I thought, excuse me, I'm not going to edit that out either. There's a few things about it that I thought, if it just... But even then I thought, well, nah, it's hard for me to describe to you without giving away things, but there's a big part of the film that kind of bothered me, but it was good that it bothered me because I was so invested in it, and I was like, and I thought, well, I wish and I thought, well, you know, this is what makes this film so different. It's unlike any film I've ever seen. I'm sure there are films like it, but I haven't seen anything like it. Not to say that it's revolutionary or anything, but it was just different, you know, it was just different. And I love that. And, you know, basically Ryan Gosling's character gets involved in bank robberies and stuff on his motorbike. And apparently the director was just sitting around with Ryan Gosling and saying, what haven't you done yet? And Ryan Gosling said, I'd like to rob a bank. And he said, well, how would you do it, you know, if you were going to do it? And he said, I'd do it on a bike. So the director went off and wrote this film. I think that's amazing because it's a brilliantly written piece, and fantastic to look at and everything. Awesome film, definitely check it out. I should probably move along a bit quicker with this. The next film, which I watched the same night, Connie wanted to watch this. It was City of Angels, 1998 film, starring Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan. Nicolas Cage is an angel in LA, and he falls in love with Meg Ryan, who is a heart surgeon. And it is a creepy film, I'll be honest. I like romance films, what can I say, I'm a sucker for good ones, but this one was just a bit weird, like, you know, no one can see these angels unless they're about to die. And he almost starts stalking Meg Ryan to the point of it being a bit creepy, and then she sees him this one time in a corridor in the hospital. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm visiting. She's like, who are you visiting? You. Like, he's just really, he just stares at her and he's just like, I'm visiting you. And at this point you'd think a normal girl would just be like, okay, back off. But she's like, huh. And like, it's just a bit creepy, but I enjoyed it. I don't know, I enjoyed the 90s feel again, I guess. It's just certain things about it I liked, but generally the romance part, just kind of, Nick Cage was kind of a bit creepy. And the ending, I was like, and Connie said to me afterwards, she said, I really want you to watch this because the ending is so different. And I was just like, yeah, it was different, but I don't know how we were supposed to feel watching that ending. It was just weird. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. I just wasn't a fan of that at all, really. I don't know what that was trying to say, you know. I mean, there's a cute line at the end of it that kind of summed it up, but it was just not so much. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again, but not a great film. And finally, a film that I watched over the weekend, and I've had it on Blu-ray for almost a year. Blew me away. Gattaca. It was from 1997, I believe. It stars Ethan Hawke, Uma Thurman, Jude Law, Alan Arkin, and a host of other actors. And it's set in a, as it says, not too distant future, where gene engineering has become the norm. Where, you know, you get pregnant, and then the doctor's like, okay, do you want it to be a boy, a girl? What colour hair do you want it to be? Do you want it to be, you know, what kind of personality traits do you want? Do you want us to make sure it doesn't become addicted to alcohol? Do you want to make sure it doesn't have premature baldness? Do you want to make sure it has a strong heart? You know, just all these kind of things. And Ethan Hawke's character, Vincent, his parents decided they were going to have him completely natural, no gene tampering. And as soon as he was born, they said, right, he's probably going to die at age 30, 99% likelihood of heart failure. So they weren't too happy about that, so they had another son. They had the gene engineering done, and this was the son they were going to, you know, this son is going to go on to do good, big things, kind of thing. And so Vincent was kind of left on the wayside, being told that, you know, he won't be able to do anything. And in this kind of future, everything's very gene orientated. Like, you can't get a good job unless you've got perfect genes and all this kind of thing. And he dreams of going to space. That's what he wants to do, and he doesn't give up that dream. And he's always living in the shadow of his younger brother, who is stronger than him and is you know, destined to be better than him. And so it's really a struggle to kind of overcome that. And in that sense, just that basic part of the story, to me, was just really powerful, I think, and spoke to me. And I just thought, I rooted for him, you know. And so we basically, it's hard to explain very quickly, but he arranges it so that he can take over the identity of someone who has great genes. And this guy, played by Jude Law, has been in an accident. He's broken his back and he's in a wheelchair. And so he's decided, you know, he's going to make some money from this and lend his personality to Vincent. So Vincent becomes Jerome Morrow, to the point where you know, he has his hair done a bit like his, and every day he scrubs his whole body, so there's all the dead skin is gone. He shaves, and he takes hair from Jerome and kind of places them around where he works. He does everything so that if anyone checks up on him, you know, like, okay, pee in a cup, he always carries around a bag of Jerome's piss with him. He always has a little kind of what's the word, like a little fleshy fake pouch over his fingertip with Jerome's blood inside if they ever want to prick his finger to take a blood sample. So there's this huge thing where he just does all this just so that he can work on their space program. And that's about as much as I can tell you, I guess. And there's this mission, a 1-year mission to one of Saturn's moons, Titan, and he's going to go on it. Vincent's going to go on it. And it's a week away, and the mission director gets killed, so it becomes a murder mystery. Although the murder part of it isn't really the main part of the film, it's going on. The main part of the film is Vincent going to get caught out because now there's this big murder, and the police come in to investigate. He's under more scrutiny now. And I'm going to do a huge review of this film because I absolutely loved it. Everything about it, the style, the way that the future is kind of portrayed. There's like throwback to like the 40s style and stuff. It's almost like film noir. The music was great. The acting was great, and in particular Jude Law. God, I'm really out of breath tonight. I'm sorry about this. It feels like a bit of a weird video because I'm constantly trying to catch my breath. It's because the air in the UK is so much thicker than in Norway. I'm telling you, the air in Norway is just... well, I don't really notice it while I'm there. When I come back here, I can taste how thick the air is. My asthma definitely gets worse over here. Okay. Jude Law was fantastic in this film. I believe it was his first ever film, and I just loved him in this film. I'm not a big Jude Law fan, but it's just something about him was awesome, and it just connected with me, and his relationship with Vincent was just, it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. The ending was great as well, and I just yeah, brilliant. Even little bit parts like Dean Norris, who I know from mostly from Breaking Bad as Hank. He's in it for like a minute-long scene, and I was like, this film is awesome. We see kind of Vincent's life in the beginning of the film. It's like kind of, he tells you the story of his life, sets up the whole film. We see him as a young boy played by Mason Gamble, I believe that's his name, and he's in one of my favourite films, Rushmore. So it was just cool to see him for a couple of minutes as well, you know. But yeah, Gattaca, cannot recommend it enough. Underrated, I'd say, and I can't wait to watch it many more times. I'm so glad I bought it, but I'm just kicking myself for not watching it sooner, because by now I probably could have watched it another couple of times and enjoyed it a lot more. But yeah, absolutely, it just blew me away. I wouldn't say that it's a masterpiece, I wouldn't say that it's a film that you absolutely have to see, but I highly recommend it, and to me, it really just, it's a film that ticked all the boxes for me, and that is so rare for me to kind of come away from a film thinking, I can't fault that. I really can't fault that. I looked on the IMDb message boards, and I was looking at all the people who were moaning about it and stuff, and I was just grinning thinking, nope, that still doesn't ruin it for me. I can explain that in my head, and I just, yeah, awesome, Gattaca. So I'm sorry this video was so long. If you've watched all this way, thank you. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching and subscribing, all that kind of thing. Almost at 1,000 subscribers now, which is really, really cool. Kind of surreal, but I'm very happy about it. And if you're one of the long-time subscribers, thanks for sticking around. If you're one of the new ones, thank you for giving me a chance and watching my stuff. Sorry these videos have been so long, especially the live stream ones, which kind of been an interesting experiment. But next week I'll definitely be back with more Monday movie reviews. And it will be a shorter one because I won't be doing 2 weeks worth of movies. And next week I will be reviewing whatever the fuck I decide to watch this week. So thank you for watching. I've done this more than a couple of times now, so yeah, thanks.
Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you, 'cause